So what we're going to do is we're not going to overwhelm our riders, because it is true, and the research on self-control is this, that self-control is a finite muscle. It's pretty much the best model we have. Meaning, what does that mean? One, we can strengthen our self-control through practice. But two, it gets tired. They've done some awesome studies on craving control after a high-stress day. You go to work, tons of people are throwing shit at you, it gets really busy, then you go at home and you are like 5 times more likely to eat those sweets because your self-control is depleted. It's just how it works. So we got to shape the path. So we got to optimally shape the path as good as we can to, to help this out and not overwhelm the rider with too much stuff. One thing at a time. Let's continue to make progress. So what we're going to do, one new habit each week. It's going to be easy, and I think once you guys establish healthy habits, it doesn't take up cognitive resources for you to realize to think, oh, I got to do this now. You're on autopilot. And the more healthy habits you can set up in your life, it's Wednesdays. You guys come to the YB Fit lecture. It's starting to become a little more of a habit. When you become on autopilot, your life becomes so much easier. It doesn't have to be, fitness doesn't have to be such an arduous thing. It's more of a lifestyle. So, secondly is continued education. Now, we've been talking about, these are things we're going to start talking about. We've been talking a lot about this block here. And last week you guys were like, hey, I'd like to learn some exercise stuff. And so today, that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about is, just a very brief teaser because I kind of wanted to get through the bulk of the introduction of this new stuff. But we're going to talk about some exercises today. And eventually we're going to talk about some change psychology in the future as well. So today, I'm going to say that there are good exercises and there are better exercises. There are seriously exercises that are your bang for your buck ones. You don't need to slave in the gym that long. Quite frankly, 2 to 3 full body exercise sessions a week, weightlifting for about 35 minutes, is probably all you need if you're doing the right stuff and not dicking around. Like, if you're doing bicep curls instead of squats, you're wasting your time. If you're doing pull-ups, you're doing a good job. So, I brought a little bar over here, and I'm going to attempt to demonstrate proper form, because a lot of things that holds people back is like, I know these are good. I know I should be deadlifting, squatting, doing some on a bench press, lunge, pull-up, dips, but I don't know how. It's kind of daunting if you don't know how. Yeah, and that's great. And especially for girls, pull-ups and dips are something that are 2 of the best exercises you can do. They made those awesome assisted machines. You know what those are? You have to flip the little knee pad up until you can. Honestly, the day you can do a free weight, a body weight pull-up and a body weight dip, you're going to look and you're going to be very happy with your body. Like, the most fit girls, the girls you're like, damn, like she looks awesome. They can do a body weight pull-up, they can do body weight dips.
Yeah.
Super important. It's a great metric too, that like you should be able to do that. So, I actually brought a little bar from home, and I'm going to go over essentially how to do a couple of these things that I can. I don't have access to a dip bar or a pull-up bar, but we're going to have a look at this real fast so you guys have a decent idea. So, deadlift and squat. Yeah, totally fine. Deadlift and squat are absolutely 2 of the foundational exercises, like, period, for guys and girls. And there's no difference here. We're both humans. These are exercises. Why are they so good? They're compound movements. They involve a lot of muscles, and we're looking for bang for your buck. Like, we're not looking to have workouts take over your entire existence. You can get in and out in 35 to 45 minutes efficiently and get the job done a couple times a week. And that's what we need to do, because we want to get something that you guys can comply with. And it's honestly going to be the intensity of the exercise, not the duration in terms of the weightlifting, that really drives the results. So, deadlift and squats. 2 of the best, but absolutely if you don't do them right, could be dangerous. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that do them wrong. The form's not that difficult. Do you know why? Have you ever seen a little kid? You roll a ball to a little kid, you see a little kid pick the ball up, bends down, perfect squat form, comes right back up. We are programmed to move most efficiently. Seriously, like watch a kid pick something up. He won't do this kind of crap that we do. He'll get in the correct position, and he'll come right back up. Why? Because we're programmed to protect our backs and be as biologically efficient as possible using the proper muscle groups. It's just that we have crappy shoes and we sit at desks all day and we walk around with bad posture, that we start to have problems. So let's start with the deadlift. It's probably the most foundational exercise you can do. And I mean, it's as simple as just picking something off the ground. So I'll show you guys a couple variations. So as simple as the biggest things in the deadlift, you want to pay attention to your butt and your chest. So when the bar is down, it's staying pretty close to my shins, or right about here. My butt is out and my chest is up. Why? Just like the squat, the worst thing you can do is curve your back. This is something you never want to do. You want to keep this kind of spinal erection, because it protects your lower back and tenses all those muscles. So as simple as there, my head is in a neutral position. Now I'm rising to the knee, and then from the knee, I'm flexing my butt and standing right up. Not looking around, keeping the spine in good position, right back down to the knee, and dropping down. So I think of it a two-part motion. You're coming up to the knee, from the knee, you're squeezing your butt, keeping your hips in. So, girls, seriously, not a better exercise for toning your lower body than deadlifts and squats. Here, lunges are good too, those two are king. Guys, for athletic performance, anything you want to do, burning calories, no other exercises in terms of weightlifting burn more calories than these and work more muscle groups. In fact, this is funny, I know like you guys aren't necessarily bodybuilders, but squatting and deadlifting releases more growth hormone, testosterone, than any other exercise. In fact, if you just did squats, your chest would grow and get stronger. It's just how it works. So I'll go over the deadlift one more time. Listen, there's a lot of variations that you can do. You may see people do it with more of a stiff leg, working your hamstrings a little bit more. But for you guys, grabbing the bar. Now another thing to note is from the front that my feet are slightly within shoulder width. Don't go out here. I want you guys to do conventional feet are slightly within shoulder width. Hands are just outside my leg. So why? I'm just very compact here. That's what you want. You're coming up to here instead of the knee, and from the knee, flexing the butt standing up.
How about guys, sometimes people have their hands reversed.
So why do they do that? That's called monkey grip. And the reason is, if you think about it, if I'm holding the bar like this, the bar can slide out with my hands. By reversing, like this, it increases grip strength because the bar can't slide. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The fingers are reversed. It just makes the grip stronger, which is totally fine. It just does put a little more strain on the hand that's supinated.
Okay.
The bicep, it's fine. I mean, if you do choose to go that route,
I was curious
this works as well. Yeah, and like as you get stronger, realistically at this lift, a lot of guys do use straps too. You know, wrist straps around the bar, because your back and your legs will get stronger than your grip is. So, second, any questions on the deadlift? First off, you guys seen people do this?
So,
Okay.
so what should be the benchmark if you're starting with that, the reasonable weight? I mean,
Reasonable weight for you, I would probably start at like, when you go into the gym next time, I would throw 25 pounds aside. So that would be 95 pounds on the bar, because the bar is 45. And start there. See what you can do. You know, anywhere in that 6 to 12 range. See what feels good, build up from there.
this may be off subject or maybe
Yeah,
come back.
no, nothing's off subject, go ahead.
What you just said was 6 to 12.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's one of the debates I hear. I got a buddy who's doing some tri stuff, and he's working in the weight room with a guy who does just the power lift. That guy's all about high weights, low reps.
Yeah.
And he has all the explanations. I go, that sounds inconsistent,
Okay.
because of which way, like, okay, as talking to the physical therapist on some things like, for endurance, which is what the marathon is, you don't want to be bulking up
You don't want to bulk it up.
You do want to tone up and develop core muscle strength.
Yes.
So is that
Now see, how do you mediate that? Okay, so rep ranges are varied, and they produce varied physiological responses based on the energy pathways that they use. So your powerlifter friend is lifting pretty much under 5 reps, anywhere from 1 to 5, pretty much a lot of heavy single repetitions. 3 reps is probably his sweet spot.
Yeah.
That produces a strength adaptation. more, think of it as like his nervous system becomes more efficient at recruiting the muscles that he already has. Okay? So we'll call that the power range, that 1 to 4 or 5. And we'll call call it 6 to 12 is typically called the hypertrophy range. That will cause the muscle to grow or to become, in girls' case, you guys won't hypertrophy much, but that kind of tone. And then higher from 12 up is more of an endurance range. It relies on more, so for your kind of training, using the higher repetitions would be a great
higher
idea.
rep will dictate lower weight.
Yes, will obviously dictate lower weight because they're inversely proportional. Now I would say the bulk of your training could be that way,
Yeah.
but do incorporate some foundational, like it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to do some deadlifts at 3 sets of 5, but then do the bulk of your weight in the 15 range.
Okay.
Because there is some benefit,
Right.
even for you, to adding some power.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, especially on the squats and
On the squats and deadlifts, but on other kind of accessory type movements,
Yeah.
feel free to do that. Now, I did write extensively. I have these manuals I've been finally editing on rep ranges where you guys should train at for guys and girls, and so you'll be look for that. I'll be putting that on next I guess a week or so. So there'll be a lot more on that today, and I'm going to talk. This is not me going over exercise completely. I'm just talking about these. Just giving you guys a little teaser of the exercises. We got to talk a lot about rep ranges, periodization, how to build a program, and stuff like that. Any questions on the deadlift though? We're pretty good to go. All right, squat. Really, from what you saw in the deadlift, it's kind of similar. It's just the bar is on your back. Now, does anyone have any shoulder problems? Or shoulders a little low? Okay. If you do, the one thing I would say is a slightly wider grip on the squat bar is a little easier on the shoulders. Now, it's the same concept. Your feet are shoulder width. Maybe a little wider, whatever's comfortable for you. Now, you're getting your butt out and your chest out. You're kind of in this good position where your back is flexed. And from there, my jeans are a little tight, but you're sitting back in a chair. That's all you're doing. You're sitting back in a chair, right to here. You're coming right back up. Now, I'll do it one more time. So my head is kind of looking up, chest is out, butt is out. Sitting back in that chair, boom. Try to come right back up.